Hey everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel where I help you build an impactful online business. In today's video, we are actually doing a free Etsy critique. This is one of the many free critiques I do every single month. So you might be an actual winner today. So make sure that you watch this video all the way to the end to see if you are the lucky winner. Now, if this is your first time visiting my YouTube channel, consider subscribing today. I do upload weekly videos to help you build an impactful Etsy business. And don't forget to grab this free Etsy SEO guide that will help you get started the right way by optimizing your store and listings for SEO. You will find the link right below the video. So let's head over to my computer to see who is today's lucky Etsy critique winner. So here we have our lucky winner today. The store is called Simply Budgeting, and the store owner is Lachelle. So congratulations on winning the critique for today. Now guys, even if you didn't win the critique, make sure that you watch this video all the way to the end, because everything that I'm going to be talking about, you could actually apply to your very own store. And I absolutely guarantee you will learn something new by the end of this video. If you have any additional tips for Lachelle, make sure that you leave them right below this video. So let's go ahead and get started. The listing that I'm actually doing an audit today on this video is this one right here. So the first thing I want to talk about, which I always talk about, is product photography. When you sell on an e-commerce platform, whether it's Etsy, whether you decide that you want to open your own site, whether you want to go to Amazon, Shopify, or a different platform, product presentation is everything. You could have an amazing product, but if your photo is or it doesn't look that great, or it doesn't showcase the product the right way, it will prevent you from getting a sale. That's just the bottom line. Now, in 2018, Etsy did a survey to their buyers, and 90%, this is huge, 90% of people said they purchased from a store strictly because of the photo. It had nothing to do with reviews, whether they had one sale or 1,000 sales, whether the product was like very cheap, like the price was cheap, the listing description. Those things do help, but it had nothing to do with that. It was strictly because of the photo. So essentially, when you're promoting your products on Etsy, you want to attract two types of people: your target audience, which are searching for your products with an intent to buy. And then you also want to attract people that are just browsing. They're looking through Etsy, they're looking through financial stuff, and they come across your cash envelopes and they fall in love with it. And they're like, you know what? I'm just going to go ahead and buy this. I've been wanting to buy one. That's what you want to attract. Your ideal customer plus anyone else that's probably just shopping and just fell in love with your product because you have an amazing photo. So your products are great, right? Because this is something that many people, I have some as well myself, that many people use. The issue is the photo is not the best. And I know that for many of us being solopreneurs, we have, not only do we make the product, but we have to do SEO, we have to create a store, we have to do marketing, we have to take the photos. We have so many different roles. And our skills is creating the product, but maybe our forte is not taking the pictures, right? I'm guilty of that as well. Product photography is not one of my strongest things. However, you know, there's different things that you could do. The first thing you could do is hire someone to do your product photography. Secondly, what you could do also is maybe buy like a light box so you could take better quality photos. Or the third is practice, practice, practice. So with time, you will get better. Everybody gets better. So one thing that I would strongly suggest is removing this wood background. Because these already have colors, just simply putting it on a white background or like a neutral color is going to just do wonders for you. It's already going to automatically look so much better. And because many people is their first time buying a cash envelope, or maybe people that never heard of this, what I would recommend is maybe having the main picture, which is your attention grabber, having one that showcases the different variations, and then having right here on the side, maybe like a picture of you actually opening the envelope and having cash in it so people could see the intent of what it is for. I think that will be easier to sell so people know exactly what they're getting. So that would be the additional tip that I will have, is making sure that your main photo is the attention grabber. Keep in mind that because you're selling on a platform like Etsy, your listings are competing with your competitors. You're not the only person selling on Etsy, unfortunately. So if this is your listing in the search results, this is your competitor. What makes your photo stand out from everyone else's? That's what you need to focus on. When you have on a photo that stands out from your competitors, that's going to make a huge impact in your business, because people are going to click on yours versus the other one. And hopefully from there, if you have, a great listing description, great pricing, and everything else that comes with it, they'll go ahead and buy from you. So definitely work on your photos. And sometimes less is best than having so much, like the background like this. Another thing is, great job for having this. You're kind of explaining what exactly they get. Great job on this one. This is actually a very pretty picture right here. Very simple and subtle. Making sure that when you are doing photos, it just takes time to kind of like learn and kind of create them. Your photos are getting a little cut off in the corner, but that's just with time, you'll get better and better. But look at the huge difference between this one and this one. It's like, this is so beautiful. So something like this, I think, in my opinion, will work better as your attention grabber, because this is really hard to tell what exactly you're getting. And here, I can actually see the fluffiness of the actual material of the envelope. It just, to me, looks so much better. But great job for having multiple images. Great job for putting the effort. Another thing that I suggest is to start an email list. If you don't have an email provider at the moment, I could provide you one that I highly recommend. But email marketing is really, really important for many reasons. The first one is to build repeated customers, because with Etsy and so many people that are in this particular field that you're in, selling budgeting and planners and anything financial, that is very saturated on Etsy already as itself. So you need to separate yourself from everyone else. And one way that many businesses, including mine, get repeated customers over and over and over is through my email list. So your email list is going to help you grow your brand. It's going to help you get repeated customers. It's going to help you. You could use it to promote your products through Facebook ads or in Instagram. In addition to that, you could create lookalike audience. You could tell Facebook, hey, this is my audience. Can you create a lookalike audience that would like my products and services? And you could promote your product to new people that have similar attributes as your actual email list. And that's a great way to advertise your products to cold traffic that have a higher probability of buying from you. So those are some of the advantages. There's so many having an email list, but those are some of the main ones. The reason why I focus so hard on getting an email all the time. So having a picture, asking people, hey, don't forget to join our email list. And then you put that link in your shop announcement. You put it in your About Me story. You put it outside of Etsy. So in your Instagram and your Facebook, anywhere else that you promote your product and services, promoting it there as well. That's really going to help you. The more you promote your link, the more emails you get. If you don't promote it at all, you're not going to get the results, unfortunately. And you have to ask people. Don't be scared. The worst that they're going to do is say no or unsubscribe in the future, which really happens and is pretty normal. That's the worst that's going to happen. But you definitely want to start doing that. So let's go ahead and look at your title. I don't think that you are keyword stuffing, which is something that Etsy frowns upon. I know that for some of my listings, I'm still changing, especially my main store. It is a headache to have to change all of your listings, but it is what Etsy wants, and they want to be compliant with Google, and Google doesn't like keyword stuffing. And it makes a lot of sense, because when you do keyword stuffing, even though we are optimizing the title for SEO, the customer doesn't know that. So when they read the title, they do get confused. They do feel like it's a whole bunch of words packed up together. They don't really understand what they're buying. It could turn customers off, and it could probably prevent you from getting sales. So you've done a really good job that it doesn't seem like keyword stuffing, but you're still optimizing it for the keywords that you potentially want to rank for. So keep in mind, an on-page SEO factor is that your main focus keyword, the keyword that you want Etsy to focus on, which is also the keyword that turns into the URL of this particular listing, is in the beginning of your title. And one of the SEO factors is that you include that main keyword not only in the beginning of your title, but also in the first 155 characters of your meta description. And this is an off-page SEO factor. This is how the Google understands what your page is about, and that's how it shows it to the proper people that are searching for this particular product. So looking at your listing at the current moment, you're not optimizing your listing for SEO. And this is one of the main reasons probably why you don't have as many sales as you should have. You want to make sure that you learn a little bit more about SEO. You start learning about it. At first, it might feel a little bit complicated, a little bit overwhelming. But once you know what to do and how to do it, it gets easier and easier. And SEO is a term that's not going anywhere. Whether you sell on Etsy or you go to Amazon or you have your own website, you need to learn SEO because that's how the search engine works, basically, on any platform that you sell that requires the search engine to find your products. So you're not optimizing your listings for SEO. So that's the reason why, one of the reasons why you're not getting sales, because you're not getting found. And when you're not getting found in the search results and no one's buying, you actually get a lower listing quality score from Etsy. And they say, well, no one is buying this listing. Let's go ahead and bury it in the search results. And you almost like, when you open your store, if you don't know how to do SEO the proper way, you're almost like hurting yourself, because not only are you listing it incorrectly, now your listing never had a chance to rank high and never had a chance to become even a bestseller. Even if your photos were amazing and you have like an amazing product, you almost like, lost a chance to do that because you can't even rank for those keywords because you didn't optimize it correctly. So keep that in mind. It's really, really crucial that every listing you add has proper SEO. That way you can rank for that keyword. So what you want to do is make sure that you include the main keyword in your meta description. And this is your meta description at the current moment. This is what people see on Google. It gets cut off right here. So you want to make sure that you write 155 characters or less. You don't want it to get truncated in the search results. You want people to be able to read an enticing description of what you're selling. It should have your main keyword, and then it should also have a call to action. And call to action is another thing that's really important when you sell online. The call to action, essentially, you're telling the customer what type of action you want them to take next. And the call to action is just simply saying, click to get yours today, or click to shop now, or click to buy, or buy now, or learn more. Those are all call to actions. And essentially, when you add call to actions in your meta description, in your listing description, in your social media, in your Instagram post, you're essentially guiding the customer to what you want them to do. And you want to start practicing that on a regular basis. It's going to really help you increase your click-through rate, and then more people come to your store, engage with your brand. And the longer that they engage with your brand, the higher the probability that they'll go ahead and buy from you. So call to actions should be included. So this is something that you should rewrite again, making sure that it's not getting truncated. That way people could read exactly what you're buying, have something enticing that will make the person want to click from Google to go to your store and shop at your store. In addition to that, these are your keywords here. And as you can see, a lot of these keywords don't have any traction right now. And it could be two reasons. It could be one, maybe someone is not really searching for that particular tag or that particular product on Etsy. And it could be just because of the pandemic. A lot of the numbers are skewed right now. I know for me, for wedding season, in August, normally I'll make like $14,000 a month. I made $1,300 this month because of the pandemic. So it's a huge chunk of my income gone. And a lot of the tags that I normally use that have like 5,000 monthly searches or 10,000 or 15,000, I was surprised to see that have like 600 or 300 or even 100 searches per month. And that's because as pandemics happen like this, which never happened before, but as this happened, it has affected certain things that we sell that we normally sell a lot on during peak season. But right now, unfortunately, we're not. So you want to make sure that you sit down and you think about 10 to 15 keywords that accurately describes what you sell. It could be long tail keywords, it could be unique phrases, or it could be just simple tags. But as long as it describes what you sell, and then what you want to do is keyword research, which is go into Tools, Keyword Explorer. You do each keyword individually and do research and see what other keywords are going to auto-populate. And you want to stick with an average search volume of 500 and a competition of 30,000 or less. You don't want competition of 0, and you don't want a monthly search volume of 0. However, if you're still having a lot of difficult time finding keywords that have some traction, that have a monthly search volume with least competition, then what you want to do is make an educated guess and use the keywords that accurately describes what you sell for now, and then revisit your SEO 30 to 60 days from now to see if you see a change in the tags, to see if there's some traction now that maybe it's already like November or Christmas season and you kind of see like it going up. But you definitely want to revisit it again, and then make another decision of whether you're going to keep those tags or use new ones. Stuff like this, floral design, this is too general. A floral design could be anything. You want to be very specific because you're trying to target people that are buying your products. You don't want to just use home decor or something very generic, because now you're showing your products to anyone and everyone. When you do that, it actually affects you in a bad way as well, because it hurts your conversion rate. If a lot of people are interested in your product and they're buying it, you become a bestseller. If a lot of people are not interested, no one's buying, there's no interaction, guess what happens? Your listing quality score gets affected. This gets affected for not doing SEO correctly. This gets affected because your photos weren't that great, so people are not buying. And it also gets affected when you choose the wrong tags. So now your listings get buried in the search results because no one's interacting, so Etsy gives it that quality score. And this is one of those keywords, floral designs. I understand the reason why you were using them, but if I was looking for envelopes, I probably would type in floral cash envelope, but I wouldn't just type in floral design. But that's people that are buying with an intent to buy, right? Someone that is actually searching for your product. That's what you want. So this type of keyword is not the best to use. In addition to that, the cost per click on this keyword is 78 cents per click. So in the future, if you were to do like an Etsy ad, it would be very expensive keyword as well. So just keep that in mind. But definitely you will need to revisit your tags. I think this one actually, these two are pretty good actually. Your monthly search volume are excellent. The competition is excellent. The click-through rate is excellent. The average click is excellent. So this should be your main keyword. This is the one that you should use as your title URL, in your title, and then also in your meta description. It shouldn't be the one that you have now, which in reality you don't even have as a tag, because obviously you're not, like we said, you're not optimizing it for SEO right now correctly. So you didn't do it, which is fine. But this is the one that I would use. This is excellent for you right now. That will help you rank higher. And keep in mind, SEO, standard SEO could take 30 to 90 days. Etsy doesn't really give us that detail for some reason. Maybe in the future they will. I have read their handbook upside down. I have read everything. I can't find that information. But I know for regular standard SEO, I've been doing digital marketing for 11 years. It can take 30 to 90 days for you to rank for a particular keyword. So at least for the Google part, it might take that long. For the Etsy algorithm, you might be able to rank right away. I have been able to rank for keywords that are not too competitive right away. And then sometimes it does take a little bit longer. So you will have to have a little bit patient and keep rechecking your analytics and checking your tags to see how you're performing, where they're ranking. And eRank actually provides you that information. So I highly recommend using their pro system because you'll have more details on your listings. Another thing that I recommend working on is branding. Branding will separate you from your competitors. I think you did a really good job for having a logo, for having a beautiful picture of yourself, for having a banner. I do like this. The separation here I think is really cool. But branding really will help you separate yourself. Ultimately, what you want is when people find you on the search results, whether it's Etsy or Google or maybe even social media or anywhere else you promote your products, you want people to remember you as a brand. You want them to, whether they see this listing, this one or here, you want them to be like, oh, that's from that store. That's how you separate yourself from everyone else that's selling similar products. And unfortunately on Etsy, these type of products are very popular. So you have a lot of competition. So in order for you to separate yourself from everyone else, you do have to work a little bit harder, unfortunately. You could open a store and still be successful and not necessarily grow a brand. I'm not saying you have to, but if you want to scale your business to the next level, and let's say you want to take this and seriously make this into something else and quit your job, your full-time job, and make this your full-time job and be able to add more products in the future and kind of grow it. What I for my own personal business, what I have learned, branding is the key to do that. That's how you separate yourself from everyone else that's selling similar product, similar, things like yourself. So I would highly recommend branding. You could hire a company, you could Google it. There's a lot of videos, but branding one-on-one, having the cohesiveness, having the logo, the same aesthetic, the same pictures, branding your pictures as well. That will definitely help you. But I think looking at your store, you have done a really good job with niching down. I think this is one of the biggest mistakes many people do is that they'll have planners and stickers and printables and wall decor, and then now they have like t-shirts and top bags and a whole bunch of different stuff. When you start that broad, it's a lot harder for you to identify who is your target audience, and it's a lot harder for you to become an industry leader in that specific niche. So you should be proud of yourself that you have niched it down really well. Now it's just like, how can you take it to the next level? So these are the tips I recommend. First, updating your photos and SEO, and then kind of working through the list of the things I talked about. But those two things are going to be more crucial. And then once you have that, kind of like branching out and branding yourself and not just depending on Etsy alone or the Etsy traffic alone. You can't. There's so much competition. There's so many stores opening every day. There's so many people selling the same products. How can you separate yourself? And the way to do so is to build a memorable brand on Etsy and outside of Etsy as well. But these are my tips for today. I hope that you enjoyed this critique, guys. If you learned anything new or you have any tips for the show, please leave them right below the video. And I just want to say thank you, everyone, for participating in the actual critique. I will talk to you guys soon.